I'm just going to do a video with loads of information about compost and soil. So I'm going to talk about the John Innes soils and compost mix. I'm going to talk about different things you can compost, like the wood chips, you know, organic matter, those other bits, and you know, the more different things you put into the soil, the more different micro nutrients you're going to have. And the more organisms you're going to have, the more diversity in the garden as well. So you know, add loads of different things in, make sure they're non-toxic and garden friendly as well. As you can see, we've got some eggshells here, wood chips, sorrel leaves and such like, bits of wood and bark as well, all mixed in. Just got loads of leaves. You can make a leaf mould. Best way of doing it is getting absolute tons of it, put it into a black bag, make sure they're moist a little bit, so just get a watering can and spray a whole black bag with maybe 100 mils of water, seal the black bag and put a few little holes in it so it doesn't end up slushy, and that's it. Right, we're just in the local stables. This is a pile of manure. Ideal for like using for adding organic material to your garden, but the one thing you should be looking out for is what the horses are eating. So if they're eating anything like weeds that you don't want in your garden, those weed seeds, perennial weed seeds, will be inside this mix and may not compost down, so just be aware of that. But it's a free source. You might have to give us a little bit of donation, but completely free and replenishable as well. Right here we've got a pine tree, and obviously it's dropping lots of pine needles here, you can see, and pine needles produce acidic compost and soil, and that's one reason why we've got quite a few nettles here. There's some quite large ones. I wouldn't eat any nettles as forage food in winter time. It's more of a spring food due to like high toxins that come about from summer onwards. But the new growth is the ones that you're after if you wanted to eat any of the nettles, and that'll be next spring. But it's a good time to collect any pine needles as well if you wanted to make acidic compost. So you've got all them there, so just, you know, local area, check with your landowners or local council if you can collect them. It should be fine, but you know, always check anyway. Alright, take care and bye. This is another source of really good composting material. It's wood chips. I've done another video as well we're going to check out, which is the permaculture video, which goes into a little bit more detail about different methods of composting and what you can compost and what you shouldn't. And there's a list there as well. But this is a mixture of wood chips and just leaf and a bit of twigs, and that's it. And it's just been left here, and whenever I need to use it, or if someone needs some from us, you know, just dig it out, and you know, it might take about 3-4 years to compost down like it has done, but once it's composted down, it's unbelievably rich organic material. Right, well, continuing with the compost and soil theme, we've got some stuff in here, and this is John Innes seed compost. So 2 parts partially sterilised loam, 1 part granulated peat, 1 part coarse sand, plus 1.5 ounces of superphosphate of lime per bushel, and 3/4 of ground limestone or chalk per bushel, and that's what you get in there. So not a very dark organic one, but you know, semi-sterile to help the seeds develop. The next one, we've got John Innes potting compost number 1, with 7 parts partially sterilised loam, 3 parts granulated peat, 2 parts coarse sand, plus 4 ounces of John Innes based fertiliser per bushel, and 3/4 of the limestone or chalk per bushel. And that's very similar, a little bit more organic-y looking coloured, this one. John in this potting compost number 2, so they're trying out different things here. This has got 8 ounces of the fertiliser per bushel and 1.5 ounces of ground limestone or chalk per bushel, and it should be a little bit darker than the previous one, which it is, just slightly darker. And then this one should be the darkest yet, because this contains, similar to the previous ones, but 12 ounces of John Innes based fertiliser per bushel, and supplemented with 2.5 ounces of ground limestone or chalk per bushel. So different things, and if you look at the John Innes site, it'll tell you a little bit more about soil, and you can also just Google it and find out a bit about it on Wikipedia and stuff like that. Just a quick note: when you do see people like touching soil and go, look at this here, and it's great, yeah. Does it feel nice? And it's good to get into the soil and feel how textured it is and what sort of organic materials in it. But what you want to do is always wash your hands before eating. There's certain bacteria that live in this. You certainly don't want to be touching your eyes if you've got contact lenses. You can see a fine dust on me there. You don't want to be transferring that onto your eyes or anything like that. So just always wash your hands before eating, or definitely before touching your eyes or contact lenses. So remember, it's even if it says sterile, the soil, this and that, you still don't want to be eating it direct or transfer it onto yourself. But take care. Bye. Boom.